Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, children, veterans, all of the friends and family here in Canada. This year, I took over as the chairman for the November 11th ceremonies from an outstanding officer and a gentleman, Lieutenant Colonel David A. Brown, OMM CD. Dave has spearheaded this event for as long as I can remember, and certainly deserves acknowledgement. But this is not the time nor the place. Today is a day to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice. And I would not ever wish to deviate from that goal. However, if you come upon Lieutenant Colonel Brown in the days ahead, please give him a pat on the back or drop me a letter of thanks to pass on to him if you wish. On the back page of your program is my email address. So if there's any suggestions or if you wish to volunteer, please drop me an email. You'll notice that our stage has been greatly changed this year. The Calgary Opera is here this week, and the scaffolding has to remain in place on the stage. So we've become quite creative with the available space. I hope that you enjoy this new arrangement. His Worship, the Mayor of Calgary, continues to demonstrate care and understanding of our armed forces and veterans. In addition to flying the Canadian Forces ensign at City Hall and going out of his way to help our troops, he has again agreed to serve as our honorary chairman this year and bring us the opening comments. Will you please join me with an enthusiastic welcome for our honorary chairman, His Worship, Mayor Dave Brown-Conway.
Thank you very much, veterans, distinguished guests, friends, families, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and welcome. Today I'd like to share with you a page from Calgary's history in the past. On May 11th, 1922, then Calgary Mayor Samuel Adams stood on the north bank of the Bow River, next to what was then known as Sunnyside Boulevard. He was there that day for a very special reason. He was there to plant a tree that would commemorate the life and the sacrifice of a young Canadian soldier fallen in the Great War, World War I. But you see, that tree was not alone that day. It was joined by many others. And indeed, as that tree grew, thousands of additional trees were planted. And each poplar was marked with an individual sacrifice of a soldier lost in battle. This was not only a gesture of a young and growing city to pay tribute to its fallen sons, it was a very practical way for families and friends to feel a special bond with their loved ones killed and buried in the battlefields of Europe. In fact, this was a living memorial to those soldiers. And on that day, that very special day, Sunnyside Boulevard ceased to exist, and it became what is now known as Memorial Drive. But sadly, many Calgarians are unaware of that important history in Calgary's short life. They travel upon it many times. They even walk upon it. Memorial Drive means many things to many people, but many without knowing exactly what is being memorialized on that important street. It's an unfortunate truth that this is particularly relevant here today in Calgary. The freedoms that we enjoy as Canadians have come at an enormous cost. And those who have paid the price, they ask only one obligation of us. Remember. Remember their sacrifice, remember their valor, remember the horrors of war. Remember our fallen sons and our fallen daughters. People like Charles Crook and Sergeant Tony Knights, two Calgary area soldiers who were among the first to lay down their lives in World War I. To our current heroes today, people like Captain Nicola Goddard, Corporal Nathan Hornberg, Private Kevin Dallaire. Those memories are still very fresh in our minds and indeed in our hearts. Theirs is a legacy that should not be forgotten, and nor should it ever be taken for granted. Memorial Drive and Central Memorial Park are indeed important symbols in Calgary's history and its heritage. But they're there to keep the spirit of remembrance in our hearts and in our minds every day, not just today. But as Colonel McRae's poem reminds us too often, the torch must be passed from failing hands. These historic spaces along Memorial Drive and Central Memorial Park are public spaces to be enjoyed. But more important, they are living memorials that will teach our youngsters about history and the importance of symbols in Calgary's heritage. They are important as they serve as icons, symbols of remembrance. And today, they are indeed in need of renewal. And as a city, it is time for us to do that. And as a city, we will. You see, this city believes in keeping the faith with those who have given so very much and those who have asked so very little. Calgary is a city that remembers.
Thank you, Your Worship. I will ask all to rise while the Honorary Chairman orders the marching on of the colors.